Welcome to Technogram, Redington's podcast channel, where we uncover untold stories from the tech world and explore how they are helping us all unlock next. Today, we are joined by Shobha Moni, a respected digital transformation leader and a founder and partner of Triad Software, a leading stage partner empowering businesses across the region. Thank you, Shobha, for being here on Technogram by Redington. Absolute pleasure to have you. I have known of you for the last couple of years, and it's great to have you on the show today. I wanted to ask you about your early days, right? So, was there like a defining moment where you thought, yes, this is why I should become an entrepreneur?
Yeah. So I think these big decisions don't happen in an instant. It sort of simmers here and there in little pockets of your mind, and then the whole thing sort of evolves into one contiguous kind of a decision making. So I was in the selling space. I was in Satyam. We were selling enterprise solutions. I was looking after the Oracle business. And my partner, who's also my partner in business and partner in life and partner in crime. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a chartered accountant.
Okay.
So he was the finance manager of a large group of companies here. And he was on the buying side.
Okay.
And he was getting frustrated with the suppliers he was meeting. So we used to have these conversations around a dinner table. We used to have, I would say, arguments around the dinner table about why these projects fail, why ERP projects fail, and why can't value be shown at every stage. So I guess that was one huge trigger for us to get something started because we were idealists. We said, okay, we can solve this problem.
Because usually money talks over everything, right? And over sometimes even over value. And then I also wanted to know, was there something that has shaped who you are even today? That's happened in the early days.
I think relationships are key. And although I did believe in it even before, but I think it sort of strengthened when I started running a business and working with stakeholders. Because you have stakeholders who are all invested in you. You know, employees are your biggest stakeholders.
Yes.
The biggest challenge you have when you start a business is to get those first few people to join you. Now I'm flooded with CVs. Yeah,
I'm sure.
But it's really a challenge because people don't bite the company you've created. It's a leap of faith if they want to join you.
Right.
Yeah? So I remember when we had our CRM practice, I was starting the CRM practice, and we had put up our ad in Naukri Gulf. We had got some ads, and I was on the verge of closing a project. So I was getting a little fretty because I don't know how I will deliver without a team.
Right.
So I had an ex-colleague from Wipro who was running a CRM partnership in Bangalore.
Okay.
So I took a plane, flew down, and I said, hey, can you please help me? I'm getting this project. He said, yeah, sure, Shobha, why not? So he brought his team around and we sat and we discussed the project. We said commercially, this is what you make, this is what I give you. And everything was ironed. I flew back. Then I started reviewing all the profiles. And then I found those two people whom I had shortlisted who were actually sitting with me in that meeting,
In the meeting
with this Bangalore partner.
Right.
And
so they applied after your meeting, is it?
No, they had applied well before I was reviewing. Okay. So, if you look at it technically, yes, they have applied before I met them and so on, but it just didn't feel right, you see.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I always say, black is black, white is white. Nobody argues over these things. The moment you step into the grays, I think it's time to stay strong of who you are as a person. That defines you as a person.
Right. That's a great story.
Yeah.
Right. So what inspired you to start your own business?
Well, it's a combination of different things because first is the buck stops with you. Okay. You're tired of writing emails where you're putting people or receiving emails where people are in CC or BCC because people want to protect their backs, and conversations are not leading to outcomes, but conversations are meant to make sure that I have said this and
right,
you have said this,
yeah,
and so on. So there's some asset time spent when the organizations are large and you're managing large teams. That was one thing. Second thing which happened was at that time Saudi was not open to women traveling.
Mm-hmm.
So I had sort of hit a glass ceiling at that point in time. I couldn't travel to Saudi. So that was sort of bothering me a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I was doing a heck of a lot of traveling all around the region.
Okay.
So once I sat in a movie theater with my family and I was instinctively looking for a seat belt. Because in my mind, in my subconscious, I was sitting in the flight.
Yeah? So you were traveling that much?
I was traveling quite a bit.
Right.
So, and it's not that's not the only reason you start off something like this. Then there was this huge noise that I was listening to about mid-market and how the mid-market was growing. There was such an amazing opportunity. So I think it was an opportunity which we wanted to nab. We were idealistic in believing we would solve problems. We had this personal side where I was feeling a little fidgety
Right.
for various reasons. So it was a combination of many different things. Was it scary? Of course, it was so scary. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
But,
I'm sure. But did you know back then that it would be something that you would that you're building something that would actually last and be a long-term investment?
honestly, no. Okay, we were trying to make sure that we would survive and we would do reasonably well. I don't come from a business family.
Right.
I'm not a first generation. I'm a first generation entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
So it was not an easy thing to break the news to the family saying that we are well qualified, we are leaving our well paid salaried jobs,
Right.
and I'm just going to plunge in. And I've got, children who are in high school who may need to go to college, but this is a very responsible decision I'm making. So that was not an easy one. So we actually, for 4 months or so, we didn't tell anybody in the family.
Okay.
And then, of course,
Then the rest is
then the
history.
rest is history.
Okay, so how did your paths cross with Sage? Was there like a customer use case or a customer challenge that you thought that Sage's product could really help?
Yeah. No, Sage was there. At that time, it was ACPAC. 300 ERP used to be called Sage ACPAC. And ACPAC was one of the better solutions in the market at that point in time for the mid-market. And my partner was actually evaluating ACPAC for his own requirements.
Right.
So he was aware from a domain perspective, he was very happy. I was very happy because it was a technology agnostic solution. Okay. As a consultant, you don't want to go to a customer and say, I know you invested in this database, in this middle layer, and you have to throw all of this out because you need this ERP, which will only work with that.
Right. Okay.
So it gave us a joy as a consultant to work with a mid-market player who was absolutely technology agnostic. So that's what we enjoy even today.
Right. And so Sage is your main.
Sage is the only partner right now for the ERP solutions, but we have many surround solutions we have discovered, gems, to make the solution complete. And that's again, I think, a story behind our success because initially, of course, we signed up as an ACPAC partner, which is a 300 ERP product. But when we go and talk to customers, you find that they have these very valid little spots in their business requirements that have to be met to make the solution complete. And Sage supports us with a huge partner network.
Right.
So we could get a post-dated check management solution for a distributor. Or now we have discovered so many other interesting solutions around the core ERP solution.
Can you elaborate a little bit more on some of the success stories that you've had with Sage? Any example that comes to mind where it has?
Let me take this PDC story.
Okay.
So this is a customer who's a distribution entity, deals one of the largest distributors for chocolates and confectionery items.
Okay.
It's very interesting to sit in his conference room because
Sure, you're tempted. Yeah.
very tempting. He had a specific business need which was important for him to run his business. Post-dated checks are collected, credit needs to be released, items need to be delivered. And this has to happen spontaneously. So this is something we did partly as a customization with a development partner in India. We also had a PDC module which was there with an ISV partner based locally. And he's still a very happy customer of ours, 18 years old with us in our ecosystem. Was using Focus and he moved on to Sage 300. So there was a little bit of trial and testing and so on before he settled into the solution. Those are the stories that help in retaining customers. Relationships are built based on that trust, because you're able to solve a problem. Likewise, we had one of the largest retail groups. I don't want to name names because we have this confidentiality running with all our customers. But one of the largest retail groups actually moved on to manufacturing. So we could actually understand that requirement and give them solutions for MRP because material requirement planning is one of the biggest requirements when you get into manufacturing. And that is something we really solved. The second was traceability because it was a fresh food manufacturing, a kitchen which was coming up. Traceability is extremely important. Then we have the costing. So I remember for a good bit of the pre-sales, we were drawing pictures on a whiteboard.
Okay.
And my partner, of course, he's very passionate. So he comes from a manufacturing background. So he was I think, part of the domain side of the consulting which happened that time. And I think that's what led, allowed us to move into that opportunity and, bring them on board as a customer, because it was an Oracle house, and nobody likes to lose a customer.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think that made a lot of difference. So we have got other stories. I mean, there was another pump manufacturer, and I always say, it's the weakest link, right? So well data is not clear and not cohesive. Whatever solution you give, it's going to fail. So we actually helped him clean that well database with a small player in India. We didn't make anything out of it, but we got that cleaned up. So we sort of
You mean you
won we won that relationship over when we said, we're here to solve your problem, we're here to make sure you're successful.
And that could mean also going beyond what has been signed
Absolutely,
on paper, right?
Absolutely, yeah. See, here today in this market, contracts, I don't even look at my contracts after they're signed, because trust is the biggest currency, which runs this market. And yes, you will have difficult, conversations. We are having difficult conversations because whenever people meet and there's a common set of objectives to be met, it's inevitable that you have differences of opinion. And I always say that when you have a crease or a wrinkle to iron, I call it as an opportunity to build a relationship.
Yes.
Because how you react to it and how you accept that is an issue that has to be solved from your side is what allows a person to say, okay, I'm willing to be with you on the long term.
Right.
And so we've had those challenges to the extent where they even took us to China. There was a manufacturing unit in China that had to be. We don't have Chinese speaking consultants. But Sage community really helps. The ecosystem is huge. And so we could identify a Hong Kong partner who speaks Chinese. He did the training and we did the implementation, and entire configuration was done here. It was running from the server and devs out here. So those are very engaging and very gratifying stories. And those are very long. All these customers are all with me for 10, 15, 18 years. We have grown because of these customer stories, because they take us, their auditors take us to their customers as well. They are our biggest salespeople, I think, the auditors. So because they see these successes, and been gratifying.
So how did you hear about Redington? When was the first time? How did our paths meet?
I think when you became a distributor for Sage, until then we were working with Sage Middle East.
Yeah.
And so Redington, once they came on board as a distributor, then we started working with your teams as well. I think we work very closely with your teams.
Right. So is there anything that you can think of? Any moment comes to mind where we would have gone above and beyond, or like you said, how you have been with your customers?
Yeah. No, I have enjoyed this relationship with Redington at various levels. And I think there is a good level of trust even from your side onto us. And there have been instances where things don't happen in phase, right? We get ordered, don't get payment, we've got credit limits, we have to manage this, and a lot of these things. So finally, when as two organizations we are trying to win business, trying to establish ourselves and move forward together, we have to be pegged with each other. And I think that's been wonderful. Even working with the sales teams who have been collaborating with us has been awesome.
So Shobha, you have built like your own business, and you're somebody who continues to be a mentor for lots of people in the industry. You mentioned that. Is there any are you part of any association, or is it ad hoc?
I'm not part of an association, but I'm an MBA from IIM Bangalore, and I have a large alumni community. So I think some level of mentorship, I receive mentorship as well. So some level of mentorship receiving and giving is inevitable in our community. Okay? And I also think that entrepreneurship is an acceptable career choice these days. Okay? So it was unthinkable at that point in time when graduates would come out, you would only talk about where you got placed,
right?
What was your salary? Okay? But today actually you can come out of an institution like IIM and say, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. And that's accepted. So those business boundaries are sort of getting a certain level of respect, I would say.
Right.
Which is, I think, nice, because the ecosystem of entrepreneurship is very giving. It's very gratifying.
Right.
It is also killing.
I'm sure. Yes. Yeah. So with you come with a wealth of experience in this field. So can you share like a leadership or a resilience lesson that you may have had that you wanted to share with everyone here now?
Resilience. Okay. So we have gone through two major downtowns, right? Because we are a partner for 20 years with Sage.
Yes.
So we've gone through the 2008-9 debacle.
Mm-hmm.
I call that a debacle.
Right. Yeah.
And then there was this COVID.
Of course.
So when environmental factors they come in like this, it really makes you into a smarter person.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And I think it's not just as partners, even customers, I'm seeing the change. They become smarter. They want to engage and they want to make sure their decisions are right. They're getting, every buck they're spending, every dirham they're putting, they're getting value for that spend. It is no longer on a logo that you can just sell a product and walk away. Okay, that's
Yeah.
not that. From our side, we have, cash is king. So cash flow management is something we really, really learned to be very smart about it. And even today, I feel that mindset of being optimal about how you spend is, I think, critical for success when you become an entrepreneur. So we bootstrapped.
Okay.
And my first printer table was a TV trolley which had dragged,
Yeah.
which was unused in my house. And, and we had 4 plastic chairs.
Right.
So it's not that we did not have the 150 dirhams to buy a printer table. No,
Right.
it was just a matter of a mindset. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And today, if I have a leather chair in my cabin, it's because the projects have paid for it. And I think that mindset is important for success as an entrepreneur. Today, I find that funds are more easily available at an earlier stage before you have finalized your thoughts and even finalized your plans about who you want to be and what business you want to do. Yeah.
So very often you start off with one direction and
Yeah.
then you kind of change, right? You pivot.
Yes, in the early stage, you do pivot. You do have a business plan, but is it cast in stone? Absolutely not, because you will discover things when you go into the market. And customer reality and your environmental factors are something which you believe some things, but when you go in, you will see a certain reality.
Right. But when you have investors on board, then you have to follow that business plan.
Exactly.
Right.
If it is my money, I have the freedom to pivot. It's a luxury. Yeah. I may be struggling with my cash because I put in my cash, but it's actually a luxury to be able to pivot, because then you move your organization in the right direction, right? You take other people's money, you lose that freedom. And honestly, it's you're committed to,
Yeah.
So this is something which I think is
It's a lesson.
probably not the best thing which is happening in the current environment.
Okay, that's interesting. Shobha, you've been in the industry for a very long time and you've probably seen the evolution that has taken place within
Yeah.
our markets, right? So, how have you seen digital transformation change the way you operate and the way the market has evolved?
So, so definitely this market has become a lot more mature, with the period of time. So I'm talking about a 20-year time span. Now, what do we mean by maturity? So if you look at the kind of projects that you would do 20 years back, it is more for automating what I would call as transaction processing. So you do accounting, you would do purchasing, selling, those are the processes that you would automate. Those are all back office or, slightly front office processes, but they're still, transactions that are being automated. Today, what has happened is AI and mobility has stepped in. Okay? Mobility allows you actually to automate the last mile. So service management, a service manager can actually record his time. Okay? Attendance management, we were talking to a construction company yesterday with a enterprise HR solution. We are able to actually trap, zonal basis, what is the attendance being marked. Okay? We can talk about different examples of how last mile adoption is extremely critical. Because why? The principle of any automation is that to grab data at the source and grab it once.
Right. Grab it once.
Have it once.
Yeah.
So the credibility of data, the transparency with which the data flows seamlessly to the backend, and being almost immediately available for you, for your evaluation, has completely changed the method with which we can think about solutions. And the mobile also gives you a timestamp.
Right.
So if I'm doing a service on a fire equipment and there is a fire hazard, I can actually prove to the civil services defense that I did do this pre-maintenance checkup on this time. Okay. So it changes also and transforms the way people run their businesses, because you're suddenly connecting not just users within an organization. You can actually connect now other organizations and other suppliers, customers, vendors, banks. You're able to connect all of them together into a seamless kind of a flow of data. That has changed the way you look at transformation, because now you no longer are focused on just automating processes on the back end. You've got all the data coming, you're not struggling for that. So now you can spend time, kick your shoes off literally, and say, how is this data making a difference to my business? Who are the outliers? How do I control certain things? How do I plan and forecast certain things? So the entire planning, forecasting, and this entire piece is now gathering momentum because we are able to get the data organized in a clean manner. So I think that's a huge shift. So can I think about material requirement planning, sales forecasting and planning, HR planning? You think about any of those elements where you want to make sure your business is in a good position to go forward and leverage itself in a very competitive market. That is now possible to enable with AI, mobile, and now I'm very excited with agentic AI. I'm waiting for how it can
I was just going to ask you, what is the next for you, and what excites you the most about the future, and in terms of technology, of course.
Yeah, so these are some transformative, elements, and it has crept in big and small ways everywhere. Like I now use an AI-based engine for my meeting minutes. It doesn't have to be a huge ERP process and manufacturing 3.0. I'm saying it affects everyone.
Yes.
So I can actually close the meeting and send a meeting minutes
within minutes.
3 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's a very good summary. Okay. The pronouns, it gets it wrong sometimes, so it's funny, the way it sometimes. So that's a little bit of correction that is required.
Yeah,
but
no, it's still not there where it can be. There's still a whole room where it can advance, right?
Yeah. And then we've got this low code, no code developments that have come. So you don't have to be this, a PhD in robotics in order to develop a small little solution that you want for your business. So it is no longer about these big behemoths coming and implementing one big solution. I think it's become more modular, more interchangeable, and more transformative. So I think it's an exciting time to be in. And this market is growing, is one of those growing markets if you think about it globally.
Yeah.
It's exciting times.
It's the best place to be right now.
Exciting times to be here. Yeah.
So Shobha, if there's just one thing that our audience and our listeners today have to take away from our conversation, what would that be?
That's a difficult one. I would say it is trust.
Yeah.
Authenticity and trust, I think will remain the currency for the future. It doesn't matter whether AI comes in, how much things get automated, or whatever else happens on the technology front which makes people fear the worst. I think if we get these two right,
rest flows.
I think the rest flows.
Thank you so much, Shobha. It's been an absolute pleasure. Very interesting stories and great insights.
Yeah.
And thank you for being here. We will look forward to
pleasure,
doing
and
more.
It's good to revisit your stories.
Your early days.
Thank you for that opportunity.
Absolutely. Thank you. And to everyone joining us here today on Technogram, we'll be back with more stories, more ideas, and more conversations to help unlock next.